Hello and welcome to another round of HughesRound. I'm Graham Hughes. This is the round. So it is Friday, finally, the 9th of July 2021. And yeah, a lot of shit going down. Lots of shit going down. So welcome, first of all, to everyone watching. We've got Veg Pie saying hi all. We've got Chris Nill saying hello. We've got Veg Pie again saying pie. We've got Dirty Jokes fan saying hello to all. We've got John Bodycorn saying hello. We've got Night 100 saying how do. Duke Vengeance, permission to have a nervous breakdown. Permission granted, Duke. Yes. Hello, says Nick. Granted, says Dirty Jokes fan. No, suffer with the rest of us. Says Duke. Please don't actually have a real nervous breakdown, but you can have a good scream. Just have a good fucking primal scream. Just let it all out. Of the frustration of living in this fucking stupid country run by absolute dickheads, thieves, gangsters, monsters, and vermin. And unfortunately, they're going to be in charge for the foreseeable future because over half the population seem to think they're doing a good job. I think we need to work on the whole fact that half the population is as thick as pig shit and maybe use that to our advantage. Like, make money out of these people because they're obviously thick as pig shit and obviously also wealthy because otherwise why would they assist other wealthy people unless they have a bit of watch themselves? Shout, let it all out, says Patrick McCarthy. But I say these are the things to do without. Come on. And then who else have we got here? We've got Chubby. Hello, you are early. Am I? Oh, I think I was on time, wasn't I? Yurosh says he won't. He needs an upturn. Oh, okay. So I need to address Stanley Beckett's comment here. Just watched Phil Morehouse's latest video re-COVID on a different bias. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and the wee donkey. We are fucked unless Johnson does a massive U-turn on the 19th of July, which he has done before, because remember Christmas? Remember we were all going to hug at Christmas? Do you remember that? We were going to have like 19 people in the house and they were all going to hug. They were going to like kiss with tongues and all kinds of things and slap each other's buttocks and it was going to be great. And then suddenly at the last minute, Boris Johnson went, no, actually, we can't do that. Yeah, because deaths from COVID have doubled. They doubled. Like fucking overnight, they've doubled. If they double again, then we enter the problem with the rice and the chessboard in that you keep doubling. Very, very soon you get to an insanely big figure. Broadcasting from West Africa. Oh God, that's the point, Chubby. I didn't change my background to my normal background. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should. You know what? I haven't been in my office for a while. I've been like hanging out over the top of Liverpool. Let's go back to my office with hell out the window behind me. Rendered there by, I think it's Holodomus Bosch, however you say his name. But yes, that's hell outside the window. So yes, if Johnson does a U-turn on fashionably late, will anyone care? Says Yoni. No. I mean, it won't be unexpected, and all of his fanboys and fangirls will still say, yay, Boris Johnson, he's the best. Why? I don't know, he's just the best. Good afternoon. After 2 weeks where the corona measures have been scrapped in the Netherlands, is going back into lockdown because infections are rising again. Yes, Henk saw that one coming. Let's just say there's a problem with a virus in that it's a virus. And it's a virus. It's a virus. So something that we need to talk about today, unfortunately, is the murder of Sarah Everard, who was murdered by not just a police officer, but a Metropolitan Police officer. The same Metropolitan Police that was found to be institutionally corrupt by the Daniel Morgan report. The same Met Police that met the peaceful vigil to the death of Sarah Everard. They met this with violence. They pinned two women down to the ground and cast them off in handcuffs. Meanwhile, when privately educated twats like Lawrence Fox or Piers Corbyn go out and have a big protest against masks, they're generally not pinned down to the ground and then taken away in a paddy wagon. Unfortunately. What a great job the Met is doing. And the leader of the Met is a woman called Cressida Dick. And Cressida Dick is a dick. She is definitely quite a huge bloody swinging dick. And she, of course, is privately educated, as anyone who follows this show for 5 minutes will no doubt understand. I was listening to the radio this morning, and everyone that James O'Brien and LBC was complaining about, I was just sitting there going, they went to private school. Hancock, yeah, private school. Gove, Hancock, yeah. Cameron, yeah. Dido Harding, yeah, private school, yeah. Boris Johnson, yeah, privately educated. Grant Shapps, did he go to private school? I don't know. Someone find out for me. Boris the liar, Bollocks Johnson, is rumoured to be talking about a bank holiday on the 19th of July if England win. There will be drunken idiots everywhere. Let's call it the super spreader bank holiday. Do you know what? Fuck it. Just stay in. You know? Just stay in. It's going to get rid of a load of fucking idiots. Okay, it's going to kill some innocent people as well, but can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, I guess. I guess this is the government's calculation. Dickheads cost money because they're dickheads, you know, and they don't follow signs that say do not drink on the bleach bottle. So, yeah, a few less dickheads who are unvaccinated, who are going out and hugging each other and doing what, God knows what else in the toilets. Yeah. What about the people who go into the toilets to have sex, eh? You know, people go on about trans people all the time. What about people who go into the toilets to have sex? Should be a law against that. Oh, there is. Is the phone open, Graham? No, it could be. It could be, Hank. Do you want me to sort that out? I'll have to go and get a box and make sure that it works. Well, I'll do that. I'll do that for you, Hank. If you wanna call in, just hang on one sec. I've got to plug in my mixing box because technology sucks. This is like in the early 2000s where you thought you were really clever by spending loads of money on a top video card and managing to get like television on your computer. Could you imagine such a thing? Television on my computer. Sorry about that scratching noise. That was me trying to put the USB into the slot and turning it the wrong way up and then the right way up and then the wrong way up again and it goes in. I think when the guy who invented USBs is finally dies and is lowered into the ground, they're going to lower the coffin into the ground. And then they're going to have to bring it up again. It will rise up again. They'll turn it round, put it back in again. No, pick it up again. They'll turn it round, put it back. At least USB-C is omnidirectional, which is good. A bit like the mini jacks of old. The mini jacks. Right, okay. Now, I don't know if this is going to work because I have to load up another program in order for the mixer to know what the hell's going on. But if it does, yippee! Mr. Hoppy. Let's just play a little bit of LBC to see if we've got sounds coming through. If you bear with me for a moment. This is all for you, Hank. It's all for you. It's all for you, Damien! It's all for you. Right, let's see. Can we hear Sheila Fogarty? Can I hear Sheila Fogarty? No, it's still... You won't hear it because it's... Oh, yes. Yes, I can hear Sheila Doherty or someone talking to her. So that's good. Right, I'm all set up. I'll just launch stereo. And then we can, head over to @GrahamHughes on stereo and give us a shout. Okay. When you're ready. David, hello. Hi, Graham. ¿Cómo estás, cariño? Está bien? Oh, bloody hell, what day is it today? It's Vendredi in French, isn't it? Oh, God. I've lost all my Spanish. Oh, damn. Oh, miércoles. No, that's Wednesday. No, I can't remember. Hank is here. Hello, Hank. I've lost all my Spanish. Oh dear. I've got an echo. Graham. I've got an echo.
I put the sound of the computer out. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Hank? How's the Netherlands treating you?
Well, the Netherlands is treating us, I guess, okay. Like I said, we had 2 weeks ago, we had a drop in the measurements against the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Now, it turns out the last 2 weeks, the infection rate went up to 5,000.
Shit.
So today the government announced that certain measurements will go back to where they were before the end of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And as we can, it probably is going to go in a few weeks back to probably a total lockdown again.
Great. Good news for everyone. Let's go back to where we
Well,
were a year ago. Jesus Christ.
well, it's of course bad news. It's of course bad news, but at least my government tried to save him.
Okay.
I'm
So,
totally
I've got a question
Yeah,
for you,
sorry.
Hank. Are people
Yeah.
in Europe, in the EU, are they blaming Boris Johnson for this variant? Or are they blaming? Are they blaming UEFA for this variant, or are they just thinking that it was inevitable?
No, we blame in the first place, especially with the football. It's blame. I think they were into the money. That's all they're in.
Yeah, obviously.
They don't care. But we also, we have not a good feeling what's happened in England. I mean, if they knew what's coming their way, and still they kept us open. I think it's a stupid decision from a stupid government. It's totally selfish, Graham, and I'm actually worried about the people.
You worried about who? Sorry, you broke up there.
I'm worried about the English people.
I'm worried about the English people as well because they're idiots. Just running around in circles, making chicken noises. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you making chicken noises? Oh, I thought it might help. And you're like, what? How would you even think that would help? What's wrong with you people? But just want to give a shout out quickly to Alexis G for a £2 super chat. Thank you very much, Alexis. I appreciate that. Hola, Graham, my favourite Scouser. Yay! It's easy to be a big fish in a small pond. Sorry. What were you saying, Hank?
Well, the other thing is, Graham, that's also the truth. Like in my country, a lot of young went 2 weeks ago to Spain and Portugal, where there was already a rise in infection. So in the Netherlands, there are also stupid people.
Indeed.
It's not only in England. What's worried me, Graham, is we got two problems at the moment. The first problem is of the infections.
Yeah.
And the second part, I have to compare in the Netherlands and in England. Although England is much richer than Netherlands, we got these schemes where everybody during lockdown gets a good income, guaranteed. If you have a what we call social benefits, it's called universal credit in England. What the government did was they gave those people some extra money, for the children. If you got a rent problem, the government will help you with that and all this kind of. And when I look at England, I'm really disgusted about what's going on there. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But it's also worth bearing in mind, you say that the Netherlands isn't as rich as the UK, maybe not in totality, but GDP per capita of the UK is $42,000 US. The GDP per capita of the Netherlands is $52,000 US. So you are richer than us. You get better pensions than us. You get better help from the state than we do. I mean, unless you're born rich in the UK, it's vanishingly hard to become rich unless you win the lottery. So you just got to be dead lucky. No matter how much expertise or how much talent you have in any given field, it's painful. It's really painful. And the people who do actually make some money and come from what the upper classes over here would regard as the lower orders or the hoi polloi, they get absolutely. They get slaughtered by the tabloid press. You think about all the footballers, if they do anything wrong, it's all over the newspapers because they've come from humble beginnings and managed to make something of themselves. Reality TV stars have done the same thing. They get held to a higher moral standard than the rich. And that is just something that's across the board in the UK. It's a bizarre, weird thing. Does that happen in the Netherlands, or is it just a bit more, I don't know, egalitarian?
Well, in certain way, it is, Graham. We got a certain way a divide between rich and poor, but we have a. I live, for instance, in a small town, on the German border, and we got quite a few millionaires in our town. And the tradition of the Dutch is, it doesn't matter that you are rich, but you're still the same as everybody else, and that's the rich actually act in the Netherlands. You can drive your Ferrari, but those people never have an attitude like, oh, the poor people of the Netherlands, with the low incomes are less than us. That's a tradition in the Netherlands. But for instance, in my town, some of the millionaires give some money to the local government so they could help people with social benefits to get a bit more money or clothes or whatever they need. I think in these moments of crisis, especially in the Netherlands, people are ready to help each other, instead of, say, living on an island.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest, what annoys me is if you talk about the British press, nobody in the Netherlands really give a crap what you say. But it's actually the way the Johnson talks about Brexit and the Northern Ireland Protocol and all that stuff, it makes a bit more hostile towards your government.
Yeah.
Because, as we all know, the protocol has to be there. You got no other choice. What would you want to like? The border on the island? You know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be awful for the United Kingdom because as the Johnson variant goes absolutely ballistic, which it will over the next few weeks, more and more countries around the world will put us on a red list. And it's all very well Grant Schnaps standing up and saying, yeah, it's fine, you can all go on holiday again. But if the countries that you want to go and visit have put us on a red list, you're not going on holiday there. And if we were still in the EU, we would have an EU vaccination pass and be able to travel fairly freely within the EU. But we don't have that because we're British and we're idiots. What do you want from us?
I got my two vax, a couple of weeks ago, a second one.
Yeah.
And then I got a passport, a digital passport, so I can travel to each of every 27 countries in Europe.
Yeah.
But I think it's not I don't think it's good to go, to another country at this moment. No. It's not only about me going there, have vacation, but some countries like Portugal, like Spain, they have difficulty with money, economic. They're not really doing good, but it's very selfish if you go there and spread some virus to those countries. You know what I mean, Graham?
Yeah.
But, I think what I see from the EU, they trying to do whatever they can. But, the problem with your government is they always talk about the EU like it's a country. It's not a country. It's an organization.
Yes.
Every country in the EU has their own laws.
But also, when we were part of the EU was always seen as something else, even though we were part of it, which was just bizarre. It was like somebody saying, I really disagree with what Britain is doing. And you're like, but you're in Britain. Do you know what I mean? What Britain is making us do. And it's like, people don't talk like that, that you live in Britain. And it didn't seem to... This othering of the EU had been going on in the press for a long, long time. And it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing at this moment. But I agree with what you're saying about traveling now. It's pretty selfish. I just want to say a big thank you to Darren Christian for a £20 super chat. Wow, thank you. Get a pint and a bite to eat on me. One more week of relative freedom before I need to shield myself from gross stupidity and deadly selfishness from the It's My Right to Do What I Like brigade. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you very much, Darren, for that. But yeah, what Henk, you know, Marcus from All Shorts and I are planning to go to Panama in September. I'm worrying about this now. I don't know if it's going to be able to go ahead because of looking at the statistics on how many people are catching the Johnson variant and just how it's running like wildfire throughout the population. I don't think we're going to get this sorted out in 2 months.
I don't think so, Graham. I hope you can go. I mean, you're a lucky man. Fantastic.
Yes.
But
Well, Marcus is a very good-looking chap. Who wouldn't want to be stuck on an island for 6 weeks with him?
Maybe David would be happy to travel with him.
Yes. Bring David on board.
Now, look. The problem, Graham. The problem is this: about 73% of the Dutch people is now vaccinated. About 60% has their second jab.
Yeah.
And you see, even if everybody got a vaccination, you still can become sick. There's still room for mutations. Even if you vaccinate everybody, and people say, well, I'm protected. No, you're not protected because the nature of a virus is to adapt. So if your goes in warfare with it's like, an arms race.
Yeah.
It's basically arms race. I have a hammer and I'm in war with you. Now you're thinking bow and arrow. And I'm thinking, I built a rocket. And that's the way the fight of the virus. So the problem is not that what we do we make a big, as long if the whole world is not vaccinated, you will lose the battle.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we need to be, we need at least we need another 11 billion doses, don't we, to vaccinate everyone on the planet? And the idea that the rich countries are going to donate 1 billion, it's kind of like, that's just not enough. That is just simply not enough.
No, but my idea is to force the big pharma who produce those vaccines to force them to give to formula, because most of the money came from the governments to develop a protection against the virus. It's government money. It's yours and mine tax money. So what we need to do is to take those patents and give them to Africa and every country continent
this
for
is
free.
Something that Joe Biden wants to do. He wants to give those patents to companies so they can make generic versions of the vaccine to distribute in Africa. And the European lot seem to not be happy about that because obviously there's money to be made, I guess.
No, but that's one of, when you talk about the EU, there's always, don't forget, there's also corruption. There's also
people who just want to make money
going on.
Yeah.
They are humans, and one of the things that the name of the game in the EU is, of course, making money.
Yeah.
It's not only a social paradise. Look what's happening in Hungary, the anti-gay laws. I mean,
yes.
If it's up to me, we would kick Hungary out of the EU. It's disgusting.
Yes.
How can you? It's horrible the way people get treated. I mean, inside the EU, who is a world champion on human rights, there are violations there. You know, and as long as there is poverty in the EU, that's for me a violation of human rights. We are probably the richest region in the world, and we can't eradicate poverty, but I think it has to do with corruption. And Big Pharma have a big voice inside the EU Parliament. There are people who are, that's why I was disappointed with Germany, because they didn't want to do it. The same goes with France. They didn't want to do it, Graham, and that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm forward to. I hope Biden can manage it, but I am quite pessimistic about.
If we stayed in the EU and if Britain had stayed in the EU and we had leaders with a vision and compassion and a soul and a fucking conscience, we could say to the EU, right, that's it. Hungary's got to be suspended. It has to be suspended. How can you, like you said, how can you say that you are the biggest defender of human rights around the world, and at the same time allow a monster like Viktor Orban to be bringing these laws in, which are hideously sexist, racist, and homophobic? It's disgraceful.
Exactly. And there are more things going on, like in Poland. It's ridiculous, but we try, but well, let's go back to England. I really hope that Starmer is getting grows a few balls. He needs to attack.
Would be good, wouldn't it?
He needs to have this street fighter attitude. Just grab him by the balls, that idiot, and never let go again. Everything he says they should attack him ruthlessly.
Yeah,
because it's ridiculous. Good friends of mine living in Reading. When I hear their story and what's going on, it's just heartbreaking, Graham. When England was in the EU, sure, England was a bit annoying sometimes, but that's okay. I think you don't have to agree with everything that's going on inside the EU. But you know what, Graham? For me, it was not about, being a bit like, saying no or this or that or that. It was about working together.
Yeah.
Just working together, and I'm sorry, I'm a global. I'm a man of the world.
Yeah, don't apologize for that, mate.
Family, so we need to be. We need to work together. So what we need to do, Graham, I can't come often on your Discord because I'm very busy. But we need to find a way to work together as a people without the politicians in number 10. And we can do that, Graham.
Yeah. We need to build a movement.
Don't trust too much on your government because it's not going to change anything. It's getting worse.
I don't trust them at all. Speaking of Hungary, Henk, before you go, I'm going to give you a list of countries and territories, and you can tell me what they've all got in common. Hungary, Cook Islands, Qatar, Uruguay, Mongolia, Turks and Caicos Islands, Jersey, Israel, Isle of Man, Aruba, Chile, Bermuda, Bahrain, St. Helena, Falkland Islands, San Marino, UAE, Iceland, Malta, Seychelles, Cayman Islands, and Gibraltar. Any ideas?
What's up? What is it up with that? What do you mean, Graham?
They all, what do they have in common? They all have more people fully vaccinated than the United Kingdom. We are dropping down the list like a stone. Every day we're going down further and further down that list because people aren't getting fully vaccinated. And as we know,
I think...
Sorry, go on.
I think we should stop with making a competition out of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about who is the quickest.
The British government have made a huge thing about the vaccines, Henk. This is the only reason why I'll bring it up. Is that every time Boris Johnson is asked any question, it's like, what did you have for breakfast this morning, Bollocks Johnson? And he goes, vaccines, well beating, vaccines. And you're just like, oh, okay then, right. Because he seems to think that we're the only country with vaccines or that have been successful in rolling them out.
Look, this was the thing that I always thought when he talks about it. It's like, okay, you got almost 500 million people in the EU. In England, you got you got 65 million, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you compare the amount of people that are now vaccinated in the EU, I don't update figures, but a lot more than England has, who are vaccinated at the moment. So that tells me that, yes, it was slow thing, but you need to have 27 countries agree on a program. It takes a bit of time. If you got 27 countries, you got 27 ideas, you got 27 cultures, you got 20. Okay, so you need to talk about it. That's the EU. You have to agree at a certain point. It takes a bit of time, Sometimes it takes a bit longer, but in this case, it was actually quite quick. Now, there are a lot of people, thankfully, already vaccinated in the EU. So things are not as black as Downing Street 10 will tell the British people. It's all a lot he's doing there. You know that you tell that every day on your wonderful program
my sweary program. Yeah.
Although, man, it's fantastic. I like, sometimes I'm thinking, Graham, what does it take to get you in these politics and kick some balls?
Get me into politics.
You're a man of...
need to go back in a time machine, give me mum and dad £1 million on the day I'm born, and tell them to put me into a private school. Or just pick them up and move them to another country where we don't have so much hierarchy. We don't have such a class system that is absolutely embedded in everything that we do. Maybe.
Well, what you could do is, this Nazi Patel and her idea about putting people on an island. Yeah. Why not put conservatives on an island?
That'd be great. Lots of hidden cameras and weapons, and it would be like the Hunger Games. There's a movie, and I forgot what it's called, and it's about it's like an office, a load of people in an office go on like a day out sort of thing, on these outward bound adventure things, and they end up all having to kill each other. That's what it would be like. They're in like suits, like hacking each other's heads off. In the end, it's like a fight for survival. That's what I imagine it would be like. But just to come back to one of the things that you mentioned, how many adults in the EU have at least one dose of the vaccine? And that is 232 million people. And in the UK, the number of people who have been given one dose, at least one dose, is... Oh, no, hang on, that's not right. Well, the first dose is 45 million. So, yeah, at least one dose is 45 million. So you're right. It's like, it's a much smaller number in absolute terms. So it's a much smaller job to have to do. Obviously, places like Aruba are quite high up on the list because they've got a tiny population, but,
Well, but that's because the Netherlands is helping Aruba, we are connected with, the slavery past with Aruba. So, but the thing is,
Bonaire and Curacao. The ABC Islands. I've been to St. Martin, I've been to St. Martin. You share with France. The craziest place on earth. Half the bloody island's French. The other half's bloody Netherlands. 2 languages. 3 currencies. Yeah. Different license plates on your cars, whether you're from the north or the south. 2 different bloody... If you cross the border with your phone, you're paying a different rate. It's... Not anymore because of the EU rule on that, but back when I was there... If you went too close to the border, your phone would ping and say, "You are now entering the French half of the island." I was like, "Shit, no, I'm not." Great days.
But anyway, so I think one of the successes because every country in the EU would make their own vaccination program.
Yeah.
you know, and instead of have a central government who will do it, because that's not a good idea. So, but at the same time, Graham, I'm just, I think we are heading for a rough and hard time in the planet. You know, we also see the you know, it's climate change is probably the most important problem we got at the moment. I mean,
especially for the Netherlands.
Canada.
Especially for the Netherlands. Like, water goes... If the sea level rises a couple of meters, it's going to get very difficult very fast. Although...
You have to look into how we in the Netherlands fighting against sea level rising for, you know,
but it will get to a point where it will get to a point where you can't hold back the tide anymore. But I'm sure there'll be lots of Netherlands engineers who will be wanted, Dutch engineers who will be wanted around the world for their engineering skills when it comes to managing living in a country that should, by rights, be underwater, because it's all a lot of Netherlands is below sea level, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a quarter of the Netherlands. So where I live, okay, you know, I won't drown. But we are open for business for the world. But I think this is not solving the problem at all. We need to work to fucking together, and we need to get those big multinational companies and oil companies. We need to kick them down.
Yes, we do.
It's over, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to have a future for your children, we need to work very quickly. Otherwise, I'm not completely happy anymore. But anyway,
we've got
Graham,
like 9 years left, I reckon. So yeah, thank you very much. Thanks very much for calling me. Do you like the way I got it all set up for you really quickly? I was like, well, I wasn't going to take calls, but I will for you. If anyone's watching this and wants to call me up, just let me know in the chat and I'll sort it out. But yeah, thanks very much for calling. Have a great weekend, okay?
You too, Graham.
Okay. Cheers, Hank. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Brilliant. Oh, there you go. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. So yeah, if you want to give me a shout, either give me a call on my phone if you know my number. If you don't know my number, give us a shout on Stereo. Go to the Stereo app. It's available through Play Store and through the Apple Store, whatever it's called these days. And if you download it and look for @GrahamHughes, so just my name. A few super chats have come in while we were chatting there. David Faulkner with 38 Hong Kong dollars, and Pekla with 10 euros. Thank you very much. David said, "We will not be free of COVID until the last person on earth has a vaccine jab in their arm." But the Johnson variant is cutting through the vaccinated. I mean, like of the people who died in hospital. Yes, well, the people who recorded as being dead in hospital yesterday, a big chunk of them were double vaccinated. Yeah. Percolatori, have a pint on me. Have an English craft beer, though, as great breweries like Thornbridge are suffering too because of Brexit. Yes, they are. I mean, everyone's suffering. Henk is a great guest. Yes, he is, Percolatori. I love it when people call in and yeah, we're all on the same. What's it called? We're all singing from the same hymn sheet. I love my bubble. Let's keep me in my bubble. Is the film Severance, says Veg Pie. Yes, it is. Great little movie. Little independent movie, I think, called Severance. Well worth checking out. It's like an office away day that just goes horribly, horribly wrong. Super chat. Another super chat. This is from Canal now. Who donated this wonderful magic box to me so I could do these chats. So thanks, Canal, for this, and thanks even more for your Singapore dollars. 20 Singaporeans there. Microscopic city-state island of Singapore is addicted to cheap Indian construction labor, so they left the border open, and we ended up with a month of lockdown to get Delta variant back under control. Yep, indeed. Oh, hang on. Oh, Charlie's called up. Right, Charlie, you're not allowed to talk about films. Scare everyone away. All right. Hello, Charlie. You're on the telly.
Hello.
You're on the YouTubes. Don't swear.
Good.
That's a terrible line. Can you fix your line there, mate?
Right. Second.
It's like
I'll move close to the window.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Charlie's not actually talking to me on his phone. He's just shouting out the window like the Australians do when they want to summon the Prime Minister. Right, go on. Hello, Charlie. How you doing, mate?
Fine. I've just been reading stuff on Twitter, and Keir Starmer has finally criticised Brexit.
What? Hold the front page!
But okay, not exactly. It was in an article in the Times about the Northern Ireland thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phil did a video on different bias about it.
Yeah.
And he said that every time Starmer mentions Brexit or criticises Brexit or whatnot, it's a good sign. And I was just thinking, let's hope it's the beginning of Starmer really starting to turn on Brexit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he is a Europhile, but become more openly Europhile, or well, he's already openly Europhile because if he wasn't, we wouldn't know about it. But attack Brexit more.
Yes, yeah. Phil did a vid yesterday says now 100. No one passed out in the streets. It's all fake like the TV. What? Singapore has a spike of kids dying from COVID. Jesus shit, really, Tim? We also got they terminated Tracy. Who's Tracy? Graham, Spain is in red alert, I guess. British, please don't come here, even if Boris gets rid of the restriction. I guess these other countries don't want the Johnson variant. In fact, we've got someone on the chat here called the Johnson variant saying, I heard my name. And just to go back, sorry, just 1 second, Charlie. Just let me go back to something we were discussing earlier. Henk suggested kicking Hungary out of the EU, and someone, I've forgotten who it was, but I'll have to go back and check on the chat to see who it was. But someone quite rightly pointed out you can't be kicked out of the EU against your will. However, there are mechanisms in order to have sanctions on any particular EU member. And that's so I mentioned suspension, but that's kind of what I was getting at.
There is a problem suspension, and that is the unanimity rule. All Hungary has to do is vote it down, and they can't get kicked out. At least I think that's how it works.
Well, Geraldine's saying, unfortunately, there are no legal mechanisms to expel a member state from the EU. However, rights of a member state can be suspended under Article 7 TEU. Which I think...
Yeah, it's a... Do you know...
Yeah, go on.
Do you know what? When we got the Brexit deal on Christmas Eve, the trade agreement, my dad said, it's a pity we can't regift it to Hungarians.
Regift it to who? Sorry, you broke up again. This is a very good line, is it?
Regift. Hang on, I'll move closer. Sorry, I'm walking around. He said,
okay.
It's a pity. He said, why can't we regift it to the Hungarians?
Regift what? Brexit.
The deal that we got, the trade and cooperation agreement.
Shit deal that we got with the EU. Yeah, just give it to the Hungarians. They'll love it. In 2018, Geraldine, the European Parliament voted for action against Hungary, alleging breaches of core EU values. Conservative MEPs supported Hungary voting against action on Hungary. Fucking bastards. What a gang of bastards. David says virus is attacking young people between 20 and 30 years anyway. Don't come this summer. It's not safe. Jim Bob makes the point that Sir Keir Starmer's criticism of Brexit barely made a whimper in the media. Indeed, and Richard Frost said no government has a mandate to commit crimes. If we can't get rid of this corrupt regime now, then the country as a whole is doomed. Richard, I've said this before. I think it is. I don't think there's any way back from where we are at the moment. Britain will not exist by the end of this decade. I would stake my island on it. That's how confident I am that Britain will not exist by the end of this decade. Because Scotland's going to go.
Do you know what I've been thinking? So sometimes when I think about Brexit, Graham, and the breakup of the UK and whatnot, to go into movies again. But have you seen the 1960s?
I thought you were told you're not allowed to talk about movies. Go on.
Have you seen the 1968 film of The Charge of the Light Brigade?
No, I haven't.
With all the funny bits of animation in it. But
No.
at different points throughout the film, you have funny bits of animation of like the ships going to the Crimea. And I just keep thinking those kinds of cartoons, Theresa May going back to and from Brussels in order to get a deal. Bollock face Nigel Farage ranting and raving and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I just
That's so random, Charlie.
The movie, I think it's more of a comedy. I mean, obviously, it's more of a
comedy about the charge
drama.
of. I thought that a few years ago, right? It's about 20 years ago. I say a few years ago. I'm just dead old. And I went to New York, right? And I'm walking down the street, and there's a sign for Titanic the musical. I was like, 2,000 people fucking died. What are you doing? Titanic the musical. Why can you do a musical about it? It was a disaster. It would be like having 9/11 the musical. Like, how would you even take that to anyone and for them to think it's a good idea? How could you do Charge of the Light Brigade as a comedy? Like, loads of people fucking died. It was horrible. And unnecessarily because of rich dickheads telling them to run towards the guns, which they continued to do throughout World War One as well.
Yeah. Yeah. A musical about the Titanic. I'm just thinking about that right now.
We'll make a Titanic success of Brexit, indeed. Probably, RC says, probably fortunately no country can be kicked out. The rights of ordinary Hungarian citizens should be protected. That's true. Poland already said they would veto sanctions against Hungary. All other 26 countries are needed to put the sanctions on one member. That's context saying there. So basically, if you've got two bad members, then you're in trouble. It's a nightmare, says Yuri Kaluda. I think the judiciary is letting us down because they're effectively part of the establishment. Indeed, yes, they are. Big shout out to Alexis and to Darren and to David and to Pekla and to Canal for the super chats. Really, really appreciate it, especially going into this weekend because we've got a big football match coming up. Sorry, Graham, Charlie, was I interrupting? Was I interrupting my own show? Go on.
What is it? Is it Thursday today? It's Thursday, isn't it?
No, it's Friday.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. The other day, sorry, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was in London, and I decided early that day to go to Parliament to see what Stop Brexit Steve was doing, and I bumped into none other than Lord Adonis. I have a picture of me with him on my Twitter page, if you want to look at that.
Excellent.
And what else? I followed Steve Bray around looking at politicians that he can heckle, and I spotted one. I spotted Kate Hoey.
Oh, I hate her.
And we were walking.
I hate Hoey.
We were walking down the. We spotted Zelda from Terrorhawks.
Fantastic.
Down the street without a puppet handler.
Okay, go on. Yeah. So you got the other day, you spotted Kate Hoey, and what did you do about it? Did you put him in a box?
So what happens is we're walking down the street.
Yeah, go on.
His phone. He was looking at all the rooftops to see if there were any TV cameras there that he could shout at. And just as I stopped and looked to my right, I went, Kate Hoey. And he got his phone out and started heckling her. So, yeah, I spotted Kate Hoey and did that. Oh, and also, who else did I run into? I run into Irina von Weiss, our MEP, from the Liberal Democrats. And I chatted to her about EU citizenship because about a week, maybe less than a week before we left the European Union, I emailed her because she, in the European Parliament, talked about this associate EU citizenship scheme. Now, I mentioned that I have backed. I mentioned this case that Joshua has launched, if you remember me talking about it. And she said that as far as she's concerned...
Oh, Charlie, I lost you.
I emailed it to her anyway, so she's probably
cut off there
right now.
Who are you emailing? Sorry, who are you emailing? What?
With the legal analysis on it, because Josh got several.
Charlie, your signal's getting really bad again, mate. You keep dropping out. Maybe stay by the window. Just shout at me through the window.
Stay by the window. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, go on. So you saw Kate Harry and you've written a letter. Yeah. Why did you interrupt me when I was talking on my show? I thought you had something urgent to say. I thought your pants were on fire or something. Like Boris Johnson's are every day. See what I did there? Go on.
Yeah, and by the window. By the way, yeah. I emailed the page to Arena saying, take a look at it. I also sent her Josh's phone number because lots of information about it. He had several international law specialist lawyers look at the various treaties.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Anyway, Joshua Silver is an Oxford academic.
Oh, hello, Josh. Yeah. He invented glasses that have got a thing on the side. And you turn the wheel and the prescription of the lenses changes literally before your very eyes. So you can twist it and say, yeah, I can see now.
Yeah, he did a TED talk on it, I think. But anyway, Josh lives in France.
Oh,
so he was able to get some. I think he's got some French lawyers working with him, but he's got different from all over Europe. I think he's got some French lawyers. I think he's got some Dutch lawyers and maybe some British lawyers. And they've looked at the various EU treaties and whatnot. And as far as they are concerned, there is nothing in Maastricht or any of the treaties after Maastricht that clearly states that EU citizenship can be taken away should a country leave the Union, and that it's actually a permanent status, particularly when it comes to those who were born in the European Union after the Maastricht Treaty came into effect, like me, who was born in 2001.
Yeah.
And so what he's doing is he's launched the case. The case is going very slow at the moment because it's a very unique case. And it actually gives you some idea of how important it is. And the EU Court of Justice are just looking at it again and again to see if there's anything in it. Because basically what he wants to do is get the EU Court of Justice to clarify, is EU citizenship a permanent status? And they're actually looking at it, which gives some kind of indication that it might be permanent. And if it's true, if it's proven that EU citizenship is a permanent status, if the court rules
Yoni
in
is
that
saying
favour,
that's not correct. There was no personal EU citizenship. There was only a citizenship in an EU country. So I don't know, because a lot of the court cases that have been brought,
you need the legal.
There was Marcus Thingy, wasn't it? Marcus Ball, was it? Who spent like loads and loads of money trying to prosecute Boris Johnson for lying. And I don't think that Julian Morn and the Good Law Project would touch it, because he said it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I went, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And he's like, look, I'm a lawyer with years of experience in this kind of thing, and it's not going to work. And I don't know if I feel a bit more confident about this if Joshua Silver was a lawyer like Julian Morn and actually knew the law in that respect. But as far as I'm aware, he was an Oxford Don, isn't he? He's a Don. But I don't know if he was actually ever a practicing lawyer.
Joshua has looked at this again and again and again. One of his lawyers who has worked with him, who knows about EU law, she's German, I think. She she's written this legal analysis, which you can find on this EU citizenship site that he set up. It's quite an interesting read because now the EU citizenship being taken away, yes, you can blame this country's government because EU states are sovereign and they have the right to invoke Article 50 and whatnot. But it's also, if it's true, if at the moment, because we think our EU citizenship can be taken away, because that's, as far as many are concerned, that's the logic behind it. Then, if it's proven that EU citizenship is permanent, then that would have been a mistake that the EU had made, because according to the legal analysis, and I'm sorry to use this term, but this is what Joshua used when I talked to him, no EU bureaucrat can take away EU citizenship.
Yeah, but it wasn't an EU bureaucrat who took it away. And I'm still kind of thinking, well, you know, Josh is a nice guy, and I've had a pub lunch with Josh, actually. But at the end of the day, he's a physicist, not a lawyer. So it's kind of like, I think this whole thing, if Johnny and Morn got on the back of this and said, yeah, this is a really good idea, then I'll be more sort of thinking, yeah, there might be some legs on this. But the way things are at the moment, I don't see how a court case could overrule a country's sovereign decision to leave the bloody EU. I mean, I obviously much prefer we didn't, but that's just mine. Also, can I just stop you for a second? Alexander Campbell, thank you very much for the super chat, £5 super chat there. A great irony: the UK has criticised African countries, and yet South Africa has jailed Jacob Zuma for corruption, wherever the UK on the Grenfell fire prosecutions. Exactly, absolutely, exactly, Alexander. And isn't it interesting that one of the reasons why a lot of the European countries scrambled for Africa in the 1880s was because we needed to teach the people of Africa, you know, the rules of cricket and sportsmanship and the law. And actually, people in Africa seem to be tackling corruption at the moment better than we are in the United Kingdom, which is kind of depressing for a lot of reasons.
Funny you should mention Africa. You know, on the day after the Capitol riot in Washington, D.C., a Kenyan newspaper put a picture of the riot on the front page with the headline, "Who's the Banana Republic now?"
Yeah. There was a funny report, wasn't there, from I think it was Kenya maybe, and it was reporting on the US, and they were describing the US in the way that the US describes African countries, using a lot of the same sort of bookends for the report. This North American country that has one of the highest gun death rates in the world. X many people incarcerated. X many people left to die on the streets without health care or because they don't have health insurance, etc. It was really good. It made you think. Anyway, Charlie, I'm going to wrap it up there now because I'm only going to do a short show today because I have the in-laws coming round. Joy! In a few hours, and I've got to clean the place up and dismantle my studio.
Do try and find Joshua's legal analysis because that might be a good read.
Okay.
And also feel free
But I'm not a lawyer either, Charlie, so
I'll
be effectively reading a physicist's
well,
discourse about the law, and I'm just looking at going, I don't actually bloody know.
It comes from a lawyer's report.
I'll send it to Rob Rinder. I'll send it to Rob. Let's see what you think of this, mate.
Before I hang up, Jolly and what's his name from the Good Law Project. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was him. It was certainly the Good Law Project did launch something. I think it might still be on their website. Did do something about EU citizenship, although that's more about associate EU citizenship. So that's a different case from what Josh is doing. But I think if we could get Jolly and involved in Josh's case, if possible, that might be a good idea. Although Josh doesn't want too much publicity simply because he doesn't want it to alter the legal or political weather around the case.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm really going to say now. Anyway, I'm going to hang up. TTFN, Greg.
Right. Cheers, Charlie. Bye. So we didn't talk too much about movies there, luckily. Brilliant. So, what's Joshua's surname? Silver. It's Josh Silver. I'll actually give you his Wikipedia page because I've got it up here. But I met him when I was talking at the Bylines Festival a few years ago. And we went out for a pub lunch, which was nice. Tim says the UK government rescinded our EU citizenship on behalf of the EU. On our behalf. Yeah, the EU didn't want us to leave. Exactly. Yeah. Andreas says the reason we have freedom of movement and all the things attached to EU citizenship, European citizenship, is because we have cooperation of law enforcement, tax law, fines in Spain can be cashed in Poland, etc. Yes, and we don't have that anymore. Henk says we welcome Scotland with open arms in the EU. The Netherlands is to support the rejoin of Scotland in the EU, which I think that a lot of countries in Europe will actually go along with that, even Spain. In the end, in the way that they did actually go along with the accession of the Czech Republic, or Czechia, and Slovakia, which were Czechoslovakia back in the day and split into two. Also, they've backed the accession to the EU of Slovenia and Croatia, 2/7 of what used to be Yugoslavia. So they've got form on that. They have allowed sort of areas that are broken away from other areas. And if you think about it, Scotland, which was an independent nation long time ago, and long before it became part of the United Kingdom, there's no reason why it can't be an independent nation again. I still have my pre-settled status, miserly email, not a single card. Ugh. That's not great. So what did you say? Your email print out to go and show people. Just saw a message on Twitter. One of my friends, Dave Critchley, who's a chef in Liverpool, was just on LBC talking about the impact of this ridiculous test and trace app that doesn't fucking work. This thing that Dido Harding was put in charge of, and it doesn't work. It's not fit for purpose. It was developed first where people called you up and told you that you had to stay in. But the mad thing was that, like, you'd have to get a positive test for them to tell you to stay in. And then if you finally get a positive test, even if you knew you had COVID and it took 2 weeks to get a positive test, by the time you got the positive test, all the data about where you had been 2 weeks earlier when you probably got it, you probably recovered by the time your data came back, your results came back then. By the time you knew you had it, you didn't have it anymore. And, they couldn't trace the places that you had visited or the trains that you got on because you didn't beep onto a train when you got on the train. Like, you walk past a pub and you go in for one drink and that's it. You're there for the rest of the day. It says you go in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll say that you left at midnight because you don't clock out, do you? You only clock in. And if you don't clock in anywhere else, you just go home. Yeah? Problem. We welcome Scotland to the EU and the Nordic Council. The Nordic Council. I got this whimsical idea of the Nordic Council sitting there, just with the big horns on the helmet. I know they never wore horns on the helmets. Just go with me on this. Horns on the helmets, big furs on. What do you have to say, Uncle Son? And he'll be like, I think we should, raise taxes on the rich so that people who haven't got much money can have more money. That'd be great. I think the EU would be keen on Scotland joining to stick one to the English, as Michael O'Reilly says often. Fair enough. Yeah. I think they'll have they would really have a what's the word? Hang on. I'm just I've got this stereo thing now. It's making sound at me. Don't make sound at me. Stupid thing. Fair enough. Yeah, so Taki says the knobhead, fuckwit and twat Darren Grimes is telling people to unmuzzle and get back to work. How about he gets a job? How about he leaves his mum's fucking house, telling people not to work from home while working from home from his mum's fucking house? He's 27, still living with his mum. 27 years old, still living with his mum. Oh dear. Not great. Not a great look when all your mates are millionaires. When you ask your mates, Darren, for some money, hey, about asking for some money so you don't have to stay at your fucking mum's. Pathetic human being. I'm on board with Dick Out. So, if you want to join the hashtag Dick Out on Twitter for Cressida Dick, obviously, what were you thinking? Please do bring out Dick Out for the men. She needs to go. She definitely needs to go. What else have we got here? We will support because Scotland voted to remain, and Scotland is a fantastic country and wonderful people, and Scotland is part of the EU family. Yes, we will have a new old alliance, and the new old alliance will be not just between Scotland and France, but from Scotland and the rest of the EU against the English. So if anyone wants to invade England, they can do so through Scotland. Actually, they wouldn't be able to do that because we're all in NATO together. David says, Graham, I still live with my mum. No, it's all right. Your mates aren't millionaires. That's the big difference. If all your mates were millionaires and billionaires, right, and you did everything that they wanted to, you danced to their tune, and you were still living with your mum, something's gone horribly wrong there, I think. And that's just what has happened with Darren Grimes. He still lives with his mum. And yet, he hangs around with Farage, who's a millionaire. He hangs around with Aaron Banks, who's a millionaire. He hangs around with all these millionaire politicians who are sitting on the board of directors of companies who have shares in all these different bloody financial endeavours and arms companies and God knows what. And yet, he's living at his mum's here in Durham. Which is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gone wrong there. Something's gone horribly wrong. Hi all, that's it. Second vaccine is in my arm. Well done, Kevin. I'm getting mine on Monday. I'm trying to enjoy some long-awaited KFC, but bloody pigeons and seagulls aren't letting lol. Grimes can piss off into the sea, says Duke Vengeance. The deepest moat ever made, and build a bridge. We want England also to rejoin, my friends. Believe me, in the end, it will happen, but not as Britain, but as England. Yes, Henk, I completely agree on that 100%. Britain will never rejoin the EU, but England will one day. Graham, you are my special millionaire. Oh, I wish. Million of love from me. Oh, sweet. If I had a million, well, I mean, if I had a million, obviously, the first thing I'd do is do up my mum's kitchen. And then after that, I would help my friends with their mortgages. And then whatever's left, I would spend doing up the island. David wants to call now. David, I was going to wrap up. Hello. Hola, amigo.
Hola, Graham.
Hey, yo, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Fine. Very good. And you?
I'm all right. How's Malaga?
Oh, very, very hot. It's like around 35 degrees.
35 degrees? Bloody hell. I'm actually wearing me hoodie down here because I'm cold in Durham.
Yeah. I'm in swimsuit and shirt. It's very hot. Very hot.
I've got me big boots on.
Just checking the news.
If I didn't have my big boots on, my feet would be actually ice blocks. Also, in case I need to run away very quickly, Charlie's just given £5 on the super chat. Hey, thanks, Charlie. And he's given the EU citizenship legal analysis. Cheers, Charlie. You're a legend. Darren Dimes. Do you know who Darren Grimes is? Do you know who he is, David?
No, not really.
He's this little kid who basically ran I think it was the Believe campaign, and he got paid a shit ton of money over the odds, and no one knows where it's gone, and now he's living at his mum's again. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's like, what did you do with it? Where did the money go, Darren? Yeah. And Taki's saying disaster capitalists will be fully responsible for the eventual destruction of Britain. Absolutely. Anyway, go on. What were you going to say?
All right. Yeah, I'm just calling because I'm just checking here the news in Spain. All right. And right now they're saying that there is an alarm with the Germany tourists here. So as I said before, please wait until the next summer. All right. Because this morning when I wake up, I check the news and they say here in Spain that Spain is in a very red alarm, right, with the COVID. Yeah. So even if Boris Johnson, get rid of all the restrictions there, and please don't come this summer in Spain, right? It's only between the young teenagers. They are being affected. Okay, only as I said on the chat is people around 20 and 30 years by now,
Yeah.
because since they get rid of the restrictions here in Spain, especially during the night, there have been many events, and this sort of macro concept, especially in Barcelona and so on.
Yeah.
And a lot of responsible people has there without respecting the distance and without wearing the face mask.
Yeah.
And there have been a few cases. A few cases, yes, and also
Jeez.
some secondary schools, they have been organized like this sort of ending a special summer holidays or 1 week, or because they end the course of the high school and they travel to Mallorca, something like that. And in the hotel, there have been cases of teens that they have got the COVID.
Wow.
So
basically, please don't go to Spain. Yeah. In fact, just stay here for the summer.
No.
Just stay here for the summer, and I'll make a decision on Ginger Island in the September, depending on what the vaccine rate is like and how this variant, how this Johnson variant rips through the population. But yeah, do you see a big U-turn coming from the British government in the next few days? Because the way they're going about things at the moment is just crazy.
Honestly, I don't think so, because I think that the UK government is at the point of, they don't really care. They just want to start everything, normally, like it happened in Spain. So I think that around the world, this has been like very fast. It should have been, open the borders in a much more secure way if it had been in a if they have wait until, everybody's vaccinated and everybody's okay. And, after that, give like a minimum of 2 or 3 months periods. And then, okay, we open up the border, we come back to normality.
Yeah.
But, this coming back to, between commas, normality, I think that it has been like very, very fast. Right, so I cannot read because I'm with the smartphone. So I will check if there are any comments or something, because I cannot read at the same time.
You can't read the comments while you're talking.
On the chat, and
that's okay. Well, thanks for calling in.
All right. Okay. All right. So take care, Graham.
I got another 10 minutes, and I'm going to clock out for the weekend to get prepped for the big game on Sunday. All right.
So have a good weekend. Have a good weekend.
You too, mate.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Oh, that was nice. Oh, wow. I'm getting loads of calls today. This is brilliant. So I wanted this to be like a call-in show, and I just didn't know how I could do that and, do a talking show without a producer and without a dedicated phone line and whatever else you needed. A team of staff to filter the calls from people like me who call up and go, I've got a great idea for a question. Got a great idea for a question for Mystery Hour. Yes, this is working out, isn't it? That's pretty good. So thank you very much, Charlie, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Henk says the truth will always win. It destroys the lies and corruption. It may look dark in England, but one day we will be united as one in the EU. I hope so. The EU will have less antipathy towards us than we have to them. Yet Gammons ask, the EU have less antipathy towards us than we have towards them. Yet the Gammons act as if they hate them as much as they hate the EU. Yeah, that's true. David Vivas con tu madre and Sevilla Quisete. Sevilla. RC says, I hope you're all right. I'm prepared to leave the UK. At short notice, the situation here gets really bad really quickly. Duke Vengeance says, let the Gammons cry, rage and froth. They are all insecure little pricks anyway. I couldn't agree more. But yes, there was a note. I don't know who said it. It might have been Duke. Yeah, it was Duke Vengeance saying Britain needs to sulk. It does indeed. So let's get on with that. So I'm going to be heading over to the Discord server in a little while. If you'd like to join us for the post show chat, you are very welcome to do so. I will give you the link while I'm chatting with you, because I'm nice like that. You can head over to Discord. If you've not been on there before, please come over. Feel free, just click on the link and you can open it in your browser, or you can download it as an app, and it allows you to go to different topics for discussion. You can text, you can write, you can speak, use audio, or you can use video if you want. If you wanna, it's up to you. Wow. Have I got loads of direct messages? Has anyone been messaging me? Oh no, it's just a list of people who can message me. Brilliant. Can anyone get a hold of Graham? Oh, brilliant. No, that's from Christian. I think he already got a hold of me. Right. So I am quite easy to get hold of. I'm on Twitter. I usually follow back. I'm also got what's it called? GrahamDavidHughes.com. Wait, there's a form and that just goes to me. Rejoin EU. You've had to message me on that. I might be able to read it if I remember to go to the Rejoin EU email account. I don't check it that often because there's only one of me. But yes, Britain is like a child sitting on a naughty step because they misbehaved, says Duke Vengeance. Yeah, but a child sitting on the naughty step because they misbehaved, but who is still screaming. Yeah, so generate a new link, copy. Well, actually, to be honest with you, if things hadn't turned out the way they turned out, and my brother hadn't returned home to my parents' house to help look after my dad, I would be living with mum and my dad right now. But there'll be a damn good reason for it, is that, I had to help look after my dad. Whereas, I don't get Darren Grimes. I don't get it. He was given so much fucking money. What did he do with that money? What did he do? Did he just spend it all on crack and whores? What did he do with that kind of money? It's ridiculous. Charlotte says, thank you for the show as always. Thank you for watching, Charlotte. Draconic says, thank you for the show. And Duke Vengeance says, oh, I've read that one. Cheers for the show, says Duke 8. Q400 channel. Also, Henk says, England needs people like you. This is to RC and Graham to fight for what you believe in. Be strong. In the end, the victory is yours. Yes, it's like the Shawshank Redemption. Time and pressure. That's all we need. Time's on our side on this because young people didn't want to leave the EU, and they're getting increasingly pissed off at all of the opportunities and wonderful things that they could have had we not left the EU. And it came out yesterday that our actual charge for leaving the EU is now £47 billion. I think it's 47 billion. It was a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah, that's basically what we're going to have to pay because of idiots, because idiots exist, and they get to decide what we do as a country, and they're easily manipulated, obviously. Let me just check to see what that exact cash figure is, so I can share it with you before I go in a couple of minutes. This is fun for you to watch, I'm very sure. It's just me scrolling on my Twitter feed to try and find that exact figure, because I posted it last night, I think. I can't find it now. Well, that sucks. I thought that I forwarded it on. Oh, here we go. 47.5 billion euros. That's how much we have to pay to the EU as part of its post-Brexit financial settlement. Holy shit. Tories, the people who know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Use real figures in euros, please, says RC. I just did. Give me a chance. Graham, fancy a KFC in the beach, Malaga. Yeah, I'll have a bucket of KFC. One of those weird things that you crave when you don't have it for ages, and you're just like, I could really do with that now. KFC when I was in Africa. I literally travelled all the way down Africa, and there was no KFCs anywhere until I got to South Africa. So I'd gone through all these countries. I'd gone through Tunisia. I tried to get into Libya and Algeria. It wasn't successful. Went to Morocco, down through Western Sahara into Namibia, then down into Senegal, where I got a boat over to Cape Verde, where they put me in jail, came back eventually after 6 weeks, and went to the Gambia, went back into the Casamance region of Senegal, and then down into Guinea-Bissau, and then across into Mali, then into Guinea, then into Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, which I was talking about last night on Hughes of the World. Then I was back down into Benin for a trip to across Nigeria, from Lagos to Calabar, and then into through Cameroon, and stepped over the border into both Chad and Central African Republic before going to the supermarket in Equatorial Guinea, and then into Gabon, got a boat eventually over from Gabon to Sao Tome and Principe, and then got one back, and then headed down into Congo, where I was put in jail again for a week. Got out of jail in Congo, went to the Democratic Republic of Congo, then I went through Angola. I only had a 5-day visa to get through Angola, so that was pretty difficult because it took 5 days to get through Angola, and I got to the border just as it was closing at 6 p.m. And then, I kept legging it down to Namibia. And actually, do you know what? There probably would. Did I say Namibia earlier? I meant Mauritania. Sorry, Namibia, and then, I probably was a KFC there, but I didn't see one. And then finally, when I got into Pretoria in South Africa, I found a KFC. And I was like, do you know what? I haven't had a KFC or even seen a KFC for months and months, and I've been in jail twice. I want a fucking KFC. I want a fucking bucket. And yes, it is flavoured bloody grease, but I just wanted it. I just wanted it. Haven't had it since. Anyway, we can go for a Whopper. Hey! Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. We can also fight from the rooftops. That's not much. A bit like Track and Trace. They're not idiots, just lies too. If anyone wants a laugh, look up Rude Guy on YouTube. There was a great video on YouTube which I shared on Discord when we were on the Discord chat yesterday, I think, and it was World in Motion by New Order, and they had rewritten it to be about Marxism, and it was very, very funny and very silly. Right, I shall return on, I was going to say Sunday, but here's the thing, ladies and gents, there's a football match on Sunday, for which, thanks to the super chats that have come through, I will be able to buy some beer for. So I don't think it's a good idea for me to do a show, because if the game is over I'm assuming that the game is being played at 8 o'clock. It might be in the afternoon. I don't know. Let's look it up, and I can tell you. I'll tell you what, right? Euro 2020 final time. Let's have a look. Italy versus England. Come on. Wait. No. Yeah, 8 o'clock. It's at 8 o'clock. Right, so if it's finished by 10, it means that it's just finished in normal time. There's no stoppages, no extra time. So, I'll be a bit tanked up and a bit leery and a bit there. And maybe it might be a better idea that we head over to the Discord server to watch it. So we did this for the semi-final. If you would like to do it for the final on Sunday, if you want to head over to the Discord server, there'll be some of us there, and we'll see if Glasgow Kiss is kind enough to live stream it, and we can watch it on the Discord server and comment about it as we're watching. Feel free to join in that thing. So, I gave the link a while ago. You're probably going to have to look through the chat to try and find it again. But I'm heading over to the Restream server. And, hopefully, if I don't see you there, might see you on Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Get Restream, Discord. Get on the Discord server at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and we can give our own live commentary to the football, which should be fun. And if you fancy doing that, and then finally, I'll be definitely back on Monday at 1 o'clock for the next round of HughesRound, in which I will probably be, hopefully, fingers crossed, I should be fully vaccinated by then, so you'll be able to watch the show without having to wear a mask. It's all good. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.